Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Web Piano Teacher. My name is Evan, and this is my dad, Shawn. Today, we're going to be answering some frequently asked questions from you guys. First up on the list is, what is the Web Piano Teacher method?
Great question, Evan. So the Web Piano Teacher method is a system of tablature that I invented for the piano. It's kind of my own style of notation that I invented to help people play piano other than reading traditional music notation. So many years ago, I found that I had a lot of students who love music. They wanted to play just fun songs on the radio. Then I'm going through the method books like every piano teacher does. You know, you buy the method books and you're learning Row, Row, Row Your Boat, Mary Had a Little Lamb. And they're struggling to learn to read music because they want to play this other music, eventually that they like. And I found that they were just struggling with it. They were bored with it. And it wasn't really helping them play piano like they hoped they were going to play when they signed up for lessons. So I thought there's got to be another way for these people. Learning to read music is a great skill to have, but I just wanted to kind of bypass that and teach them a different way so that they could start playing the songs they want because they were going to quit. And I thought it'd be better for them to really play the songs they love and learn how to play instead of quitting just because they can't, fit in the system that's there. For us to read music. So I created that. And if you want to take a look at it here's the most recent style that I've done with it. So it's very similar to standard music notation because the letter names are all, the lowest notes on the bottom, the highest notes on the top. And you can see the letter names there. And I have measures, just like traditional music notation. If you take away the staff behind it, the five lines and four spaces, that's kind of how it looked like when I started off. And I had a whiteboard, and I was just writing with this is like 17, 18 years ago, if you look at my oldest videos on YouTube. And that's the way I did it. And it worked for a lot of people, many people it worked for. And they were able to start immediately playing the songs they wanted to play. So the Web Piano Teacher method is just a different way of learning to play piano. It's not better than, it's not worse than, it's just a different way. So learning to read music is not the only way to play your instrument. For example, you are an amazing guitar player. Do you read music?
No, I do not read music.
No, but you're learning what chords are, and you can play. So guitar players already kind of do that anyway. They've learned all kinds of different ways that they come up with, and there are tablatures for guitar as well, which are not traditional music notation. So there's an example right there. People that are blind and read Braille. It's a different way to read. Doesn't mean it's wrong. That's the way that works for them because it has to. So just because it's a different way doesn't mean it's cheating or it's worse. It's just a way that I teach that helps people who have trouble reading traditional music notation. And many times they're the most talented musical people. And that ear that they have kind of works against them for reading the music because they just want to use their ear and play. So my method kind of lends itself to that and helps those people especially. So that's what it is. It's also a methodology of how to practice, how to, what songs to pick when you're practicing. And I always go with the original. I want to be really accurate on whatever you listen to on the album, that's what you're learning to play, not a watered-down version, not just my version of what sounds close to it or a chord sheet. I try to give you exactly what the artist is playing so that you can sound like your favorite artist, like what you heard on the radio, on the album, so forth. So that's, in a nutshell, the WPT method.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah.
So, yes.
How do you read your method?
How do I read it? Okay, so I kind of went through that. I kind of jumped the gun there on that next question. So you can look here again at the board here. I call it the board because I had an actual whiteboard way back. I stopped calling it that. But you read it. See, there are the note names. Okay, so you have F. If you know the letters on the piano already, if you don't know that, I have lessons on the site to help you from the very beginning. But you can see the note names are just like they would be on the staff. I have little dashes for the rhythms. So the shorter the dash, the shorter the note value. So these typically are eighth notes. And typically a longer note value, like a dotted half, would have a longer dash. The curved lines will denote 16th notes. And I have measures. So it's very similar to traditional music notation, but just some alterations here and there. But many people can just jump in and start playing it. The learning curve is very low on that. So if you already have a little bit of music already and you know what the note names are on the keyboard, you can probably just jump in and go to town on it. But that's how you read it. You know the names of the notes, and I'll talk about the chords in the lessons. So that's one thing too, is the videos go with the method. You can't just look at the sheets. That's part of it, and that's part of the downfall of music sheets sometimes, is they don't give you a style or how to play like Elton John, how to play like Billy Joel. So the sheets are kind of an outline for that, but the lessons always go with it, and a lot of the method and reading it I will help you along with during the lesson videos.
So what is a PDF sheet?
Okay, so I started creating the PDF sheets for every song lesson on the site. And the PDF sheets they're a PDF, and you can download them. If you're a member on the site, you have the opportunity to do that. And they're just exactly what you see on the screen. So if I'm doing a lesson and you see this on the screen, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get all the sheets for that lesson when you do the download, and it's going to be what's on the screen. And even the older videos where I'm on the whiteboard with the marker, we rewrote those. So those will also be in a high resolution, high definition format. But whatever you see on the screen, that's what's on the sheet when you download it.
So what's the difference between a chord sheet and then your PDF sheets?
Okay, so chord sheets are great, and we've all seen them. They have the lyrics, and they have the chords above the lyrics, when the chord changes. Okay, but that only gives you the tip of the iceberg. You may see, a C chord. But what kind of C chord? There's so many ways to play a C chord. It's very limited what a chord sheet can give you, though they're helpful. And they're notoriously wrong a lot of times. Have you ever done that when you were looking up a song and the chords will be wrong?
Yeah, that happens pretty often.
Yeah, way more often than I would think. But yeah, they'll be wrong a lot of times. And I guess just because there's no one policing it, anybody can upload a sheet. And as long as, a few people are rating it and downloading it, it'll get higher in searches, but they're notoriously not 100% correct and sometimes flat out wrong. But even if you do get one that's right, how do you play that chord? What rhythm do you do with the chord? And again, I said there's lots of ways to play a C chord. There's lots of ways to play an F chord. What inversion is that chord in? So just having the name of the chord is not nearly enough if you're really wanting to sound like the album. So chord sheets are highly lacking, in my opinion, if you're not an advanced musician already. What was the other part? A chord sheet according to my sheets, is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
So my sheets are going to have exactly what the artist is playing. Again, if I go here. Okay, so what I'm playing here is exactly, this is one of my actual lessons someone hired me to do, is exactly what I hear on the album. So I don't take it for granted. I don't go look up the sheets and then just copy it on here in my method. I listen to it, every measure, everything I've ever been hired to do for the last 18 years. I have put on the headphones and I listen to every measure excruciatingly, meticulously, and give you every note that I can possibly hear. Now, I'm not 100% perfect. No one is, but I get really close. And I'm probably the most accurate that I've ever seen on the internet. But my sheets are going to be what's being played on the album, not a chord and say, okay, just kind of get close and sound like it. I want you to sound like the album, like the record, and that's the difference.